If I had £1 for every time I've heard someone say to me, I love that drum sound, and do you know what? They didn't use compression, I would be a very, very rich man, a lot richer than I am. And in my opinion, whenever I listen to these recordings and they didn't use compression, I think to myself, what a load of bollocks. And if you're an American, you don't know what bollocks are, look them up. Type it into Google, see what happens. Anyway, compression is everywhere. Compression is in things that don't even call themselves compressors. Saturation compresses things. If you dump something to a tape, it compresses things. 9 times out of 10, when someone says, oh, they recorded those drums without compression. Yeah, they might not have put a compressor across it, but they slammed the fuck out of them into the tape, which is compressing it, right? So maybe they compressed it loads to the tape, which was done a lot back in the day, so they didn't need any compression on the way back. Or maybe they just didn't use compression on the mix. Maybe it was recorded with compression on it. Maybe they didn't use a bus compressor over the drums, or maybe they only used a bus compressor over the drums, or maybe the whole mix was being slammed so much by the mastering engineer or by the mix bus compression that they didn't need an individual compressor over the drum bus. I mean, there's so many different reasons why they didn't use a compressor, but it still sounds compressed. And none of them are that there isn't any compression going on. So this myth really, really winds me up. Colour and the Shape Foo Fighters. Oh, Dave Grohl didn't want any compression on his drums. No, so the guy turned to a load of saturators and then pushed it all really loud into the tape. And then didn't put a compressor across the drums, but he had compressors across the master bus, and then the mastering engineer compressed the fuck out of it. And Dave Grohl was playing really loud in a room, and they were using lots of mics where the air would have smoothed out some of that. And he hits really hard, and he's very even, you know. So I just don't believe most of these stories. I just don't believe them, or I think people are not really understanding how much compression goes on in a mix. Those old desks that they used, like the old Abbey Road desks and other desks beyond, not just them early Neves and stuff. I mean, they've got compression inherently in them. The channel strip itself will be compressing it. So if you record mics, let's say you're recording Dark Side of the Moon, right? And you've got 8 mics around the drum kit, and they're all going into your desk and getting compressed just by the nature of the desk. They're getting compressed on the desk. And then all of that is going to a 16-track tape machine. So each of those channels is getting compressed to the tape. And then when they all come back, they're all going into the desk again as individual channels. And they're being mixed to another 16-track tape machine on 2 tracks. They want to bounce down to another tape machine to have more stuff. So there's bus compression going on the tape and from the desk, the master bus path of the desk and all of that. You've got all this compression going on. So when they got to the mix, Alan Parsons was like, I don't want compression on the drums because we like the natural sound that we've got. But don't tell me there's no compression on the drums on Dark Side of the Moon. There would have been compression on the mastering. The vinyl that you listen to it from, the final tape that the left and right went to, that was compression. The tape was giving so much compression, all the saturation, all of it. So as you can tell, it winds me up when I hear these myths, because then in the modern world with digital recordings, the idea of processing drums with no compression or no saturation that's doing the compression or whatever is beyond ridiculous, right? It's beyond ridiculous. If you get drums and they've all been recorded clean directly out the mics into a clean interface, so you've got no EQ, you've got no compression, no saturation, everything as clean as you want. Trust me, compression and saturation, they are your friend. They're going to make it sound exciting, they're going to make it sound lively. That was what was missing from early digital recordings, when people were like, why is it sounding harsh? Why is it sounding boring? Why is it sounding insert your adjective here? It's because it didn't have all of that stuff that was being added by the tape and by the desk and going in and out of all different units and through loads of different transformers and stuff like that. So please don't tell me ever, oh, you know what about that album? Oh, they didn't use a compressor on that, because they fucking did.